And now it's time for Rugby League.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to NRL Insight UK, second part to Mike Ford's interview. We're going to go straight into it. 2001, 2002, you finished as a player. How did your transition to rugby union come about, and why? Why did you choose to go over to union?
Never really thought of coaching professionally in rugby union. I was coaching amateur for 5 years. Before the same time I was coaching Bramley and Oldham as a player coach. I was coaching a rugby union side as well. I'm more or less out of the house every day of the week, coaching or playing. But my skill teacher, which is just up the road here, Saddleworth School, was a guy called Phil Larder, and Phil was the he rewrote the rugby league coaching manual in 82, 83. So he used to, as a left school, went to work for Barla. And for the next 3 years, he flew over to Australia and spent a lot of time with a guy called Jack Gibson, Parramatta. Rewrote the coaching manual, assistant to Malcolm Reilly with England and Great Britain, coached Widnes and Sheffield, and then Clive Woodward wanted to improve this coaching team, and Phil Larder became the first defensive coach for England, and they won the World Cup in 2003. But in 2001, when I'm coaching Oldham Rugby, I ring him up. I said, Phil, can I come down to the base at Penny Hill Park there, Bagshot, and just have a look around, see what you're doing, see if I can pick anything up?
Yeah.
He goes, oh yeah, come down, because I like to see how you were doing your defence, what systems you're using, this, that, and the other. So we went down and collaborated. And in that meeting, or that day I spent with him and the England team, he asked me if I'd thought about coaching rugby union. I said no. He said, but I know that Ireland are looking for a defence coach. Do you mind me putting down your name? And this was, you won't remember, but 2001 was foot and mouth year. So this is now August. The Six Nations got suspended and then restarted in the autumn.
Yeah.
That's just after we lost in the grand final to Widnes in 2001. I get a phone call from Ireland. Would you like an interview?
Yeah.
So unbeknown to me, what had happened is Eddie O'Sullivan, the coach of Ireland, I rang up Phil Larder, said, I'm thinking of getting a defence coach. I've got, on my list, I've got Ellery Hanley, I've got Mike Gregory, and I've got, I think it was Neil Kelly. He says, what do you think? Can you give me your opinion, them three? He goes, yeah, there's my opinion. Can I give you another three? And I was one of the three. So they had a list of 6, but the only person they knew on that was Ellery Hanley, and he was coaching at Bristol at the time. So they flew into Heathrow, got on the M4, massive jam, motorway shut all day.
Yeah.
So they never got to Bristol. And in fact, they had to turn around and get right back on the plane without meeting him. So they rescheduled. Instead of meeting in Bristol, the second time they meet him is in Leeds. So they say, oh, that Mike Ford's near close to Leeds, so we invite him.
Yeah.
So we went to the Leeds Queen's Hotel in Leeds, and sat in reception. I don't really know what these. It was Eddie O'Sullivan, and the manager's name was called Brian O'Brien. I always think that's funny. And out from the reception walks Ellery, and as I'm walking in, and he had an agent with him, and Mike. Ellery, what are you doing here, kind of stuff. And we both quickly realised we went for the same job. But I sit down, with Eddie and Brian, and the first thing they say is, "God, I'm starving. Do you want some food?" So we had a club sandwich and chips, and it was really, really down to earth. And what I had then at my time, I had I was having a testimonial for 20 years in the game, and I had a brochure. So I brought that along to tell them who I was, and they just pushed it to one side, you know. So they started asking questions. What system would you bring? How would you coach? That. And at the end of it, they said something like, "Well, tell us how much you want." Like, and I've gone back home, and I said, I've not had many interviews at that time. I said, but I think they want. I've got it. And they asked me.
Yeah.
So they asked me, that were Friday. They asked me to get back to them on a Monday. I didn't got back to them on a Friday, on a Saturday, because it was only a 100-day contract. You know, it was only for that Six Nations 2002, and they had a tour to New Zealand at the end. So it was about 100 days, so I could still do rugby league coaching.
Was that also the same season that they did the Grand Slam on that one, the Ireland team? No, was that further?
That was 2003.
On? Yeah, you were still there at that period, though, wasn't you? Yeah. Without jumping too far,
I lost that game to them as well. So they said to me, I told them on a Saturday. They got back to me on a Sunday. Yeah, it's yours. I'm thinking, oh my God, I've not even talked to Oldham Rugby about this.
No.
So on the Monday, I go in to see the board, and I said to them, "Look, Ireland have rang me up. Can I speak to them?" Yes. So Tuesday, I go in. I spoke to them last night. They've offered me a job. So Wednesday, they asked me to put a plan together from when I were away, which I did do. I had a guy called Hayden Walker, St Helens, Wigan, youth teams and stuff. He was with me. I said, "We'll promote him while I'm away, and we'll do this, that, and the other." Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no problem. So that was Thursday. And then the Friday, I get a call from the chairman saying, "No, we've changed our minds. You can't go."
Really?
Yeah, because I had a clause in my contract saying any Super League club that came for me at the time as a coach, the £25,000 compensation. And I said, "Well, they want €25,000 off Ireland." I said, "Well, they're not a Super League club. They're a different code."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why can't you see that this is going to help me, which will eventually help the organisation in a number of ways?
Yeah.
A, I'll come back a better coach and more experience, and B, we're promoting from within. So anyway, it didn't happen. So it got to a stage where, look, I'm going to have to choose here. So reluctantly, and I just signed a 3.5-year deal at Oldham. But I couldn't. I went for a Super League in that. Before the Ireland job, I went for a Super League interview with Warrington when Darryl van der Velde, he left Warrington, and then Huddersfield. Brian Smith got it from Huddersfield.
Yeah.
David Plange and Anderson, an Anderson guy got it. An Australian got it for Warrington, and and the feedback was, "You've got no experience." It's fair play. That's why I took the Bramley job. You know what I mean? Because so I thought, well, what I'll do is then I'll go to rugby union for a couple of years, maybe 1 year, get that experience of coaching international players, and come back and say, "Listen, I've done this."
Yeah.
But so I resigned, took a 100-day contract. That turned into an 18-month contract, which turned into a 4-year contract with Ireland. So
even your intentions of originally going over with Ireland, it was still at the forefront of your mind that a return to league
100%
is on the cards.
Sean McRae rang me. He was coaching Hull at the time.
Yeah.
Wanted me to come and be an assistant there. Brian Noble, Bradford Bulls. I've always been good friends with Brian. We keep in touch to this day. He was wanting me to go and be the assistant. I didn't know what I was doing, Dan.
Yeah.
And the lucky thing about me was my position was Ireland didn't have a defence coach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they couldn't question me. They couldn't.
Yeah.
So like I'm learning on the run.
Yeah.
What's he called? The Virgin guy.
Richard Branson.
Fake it before you make it, So I was doing that. But the lads, because there were a bit of structure, a bit of a system in place, they knew, they loved it.
Yeah.
And and to be honest, like you make a difference because, like I said, there was nothing there before.
No.
So then you get offered, and this is what did it for me. All right, I'm going to stay till the World Cup. So it's only another year, really.
Yeah,
So it would have been 18 months altogether.
Yeah.
And I went to Australia 2003 when England won it. Oh my God, it was a different world.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a different world.
So even at that young age and inexperience, did you have any say on selection, or was that solely for the head coach? You just concentrate on the defence. That was it.
Yeah.
Would you give recommendations? Obviously, further down, would you start giving recommendations on certain players? It
changed. We've all changed in terms of they actually let me in the selection meetings.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have an opinion.
Right.
I couldn't voice an opinion unless they asked me. So that was like way down the track. They're very, very. This is a selection committee.
Yeah.
You know, there were 3 of them or whatever there was, and you used to get told the team. So the other thing is, like, we used to name the team on a Tuesday morning. We used to name the team on a Tuesday night, and the defence day was Tuesday. It was the designated defence day. So, like, I know the team.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's been announced that night.
Yeah.
So I had to give the bibs out. Fucking, I'm not in. So I used to get all the stickers. So I was the selector, you know, kind of stuff. Yeah. But it was great. It was great, really. So just going back to the World Cup, we played on the Gold Coast. We played. I'm going to say, who did we play? It was a 3rd-tier team, 2nd-tier team. Oh my gosh, who was it? Kenya.
Right. Yeah.
There were 45,000 there.
Really?
Ireland and Kenya, 45,000. And every Six Nations game, you know, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, you know, all that was like, the way I describe it to rugby league people, it's like Wembley every year.
Every year, yeah.
When Wembley used to be like full out, 80,000.
Yeah.
You cannot get a ticket. There's not. I've never known a Six Nations game where there's spare tickets. Never known it. It's like that every time.
Yeah.
You know.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because obviously especially rugby league people, we just stay in our lane. You kind of like, you put the blinkers on, so you don't really know what's going on in the other code. You see it.
I was a bit like that.
Yeah. So your time at Saracens, was that an overlap with Ireland at the time then? Yeah. Did Ireland ever say to you that you need a club to do it?
So I was getting itchy, and if I had to give it a bit of advice to a young aspiring coach, is that take your time to try and get to the top.
Yeah.
There isn't exceptions to every rule, but in my experience coaching, you get very good by experience. So I'm getting itchy. I've only been in the game 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So I go to the Irish head coach. Say, listen, I want to do more. You know what I mean? I want to do skills. And he didn't give me the skills job. He gave it to somebody else. Right. So when Saracens were looking for a defence coach, I said, well, can I do this instead? It'll keep me busy because there's only 10 games a year with Ireland, you know.
Yeah.
So he agreed to do that. But then they sacked their coach, and I made such an impression defensively that the players wanted me to be the head coach for the foreseeable future. So I'm going, yeah, I'm ready. This is 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
I'm ready. So I leave Ireland to be the head coach of Saracens, and I just wasn't ready.
No.
I just wasn't ready.
Did you feel it straight away that you wasn't ready?
Yeah, because they were like the Toulon of European rugby at the time. They had a fantastic owner called Nigel Ray.
Yeah.
The Galacticos, he used to go and buy the very, very best players and just stick them in an environment and see if it gelled or not. And it was like, they always, former All Black, Tane Randall.
Yeah.
45 times captain New Zealand, like, and I've been in the game 4 years, like, and I just didn't have the knowledge he had. Do you know what I mean? And to be an head coach, you need to be an expert in something, one field, and you need to have a really good understanding of the others, so you can question the coaches in that field.
Yeah.
And then also the motivation side of it, the man management side of it. I just wasn't ready. So that didn't last that didn't last too long.
No, because there was obviously going from Saracens, you were involved with England and British and Irish Lions, I think, at that time as well, wasn't it? 2005, 2010.
Yeah.
Was you still involved in club at that point when you was with England, or
so what? I was looking to go on the British and Irish Lions tour, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was lucky to get the England job. So I've left Ireland, gone to Saracens, and now I'm back in the game, and I'm thinking, right, I've had a good go head coach in the Premiership. I quite understand, got more of an understanding of what it's like. I'm going to keep my head down. I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
So I did England for 6 years, and in that time, I really went round to all the environments I could do, learning how to be an head coach. So, and it wasn't till I got to be head coach for Bath in 2013, 14. I was 48 at the time. And I thought, I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
I think I know enough about it. And I've been in, 2002 to 2004, it's 12 years there.
Yeah. So did you feel completely different going into the Bath opportunity than you did with the Saracens one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how long it takes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's hard when you, even, in coaching terms, you were young then. As a young person, 30s, 40s in coaching terms, you want everything now, and that's good. That's ambition, isn't it? You want it to happen now. It's just obviously you've sank before you've swam.
The other thing is, Dan, is if you get to the very top too early, where do you go after that? Because nothing's forever, unless you're Alex Ferguson. But it's you at some stage. When you get there, you've got to make sure that you're ready first and foremost, so that you can spend at the top as long as possible. Yeah. Because where do you go after that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. But you mentioned Bath, so let's go into the time at Bath, 2013 to 2016. First of all, what was your first impressions going in there for the environment? Obviously, you now think that you're ready. How did that time start off at Bath?
Bath is a very historic club, probably up there with Leicester Tigers. Yeah. So before professionally came in, them two were hammer and tongue against each other. And I think Bath in the 80s and 90s did something like Wigan. Yeah. They won 8 on the run. And then professionalism came in, and Leicester took over, winning four leagues on the run and stuff like that. So my impression of it was, Bath is that they had a soft environment. They had an owner with very deep pockets who made the environment very, very comfortable for the people, which is great. You need a world-class environment. Yeah. But I didn't think the messages from the previous coaches, from the management, from the hierarchy, was one that was hard work. It was like we always had an excuse. Yeah. So it was an easy one.
Did you want to change that culture straight away then, as soon as you got in there?
I wanted to put it. You never change a culture straight away, do you? But I wanted to start off in the right way.
Put your mark on it. Yeah.
Northern grit. Yeah. Working class, sleeves up. Firing kind of stuff. But it takes time.
While we're in the Bath era. Obviously, with it being Rugby League Channel, big name, Sam Burgess came over to Bath. What were your first impressions of the person, the player, reputation, and what was the relationship like to begin with?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, we were signing an outstanding player. We were the first team at Bath to play what every team's doing now, is out of the back. Yeah, a lead runner out of the back, because we had Kyle Eastman, who was, for some reason they were playing him on the wing. Yeah, you know Kyle from St Helens.
He was unbelievable, and even to this day, we were all still in shock that he chose to jump codes, and he had the.
He surprises you, Kyle. He's still surprising me to this day with some of the decisions he makes. You think, oh, that's not Kyle. But so we put him at 12. Yeah. So George were at 10. So George was first receiver. Kyle was second receiver. Yeah. And we came up with this out the back. We trained against Wigan twice. Yeah. 3 times. Sean Wayne was coaching them.
Did that help your group massively? Yeah.
So I couldn't get the team to go to the line.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because everything in rugby union was played away from the line, because the defensive line's so on top of you.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to go at them.
You run out of space quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until we were so close, and we invited Wigan down, and we came up with a drill that we were both back 3 meters. So Wigan thought it was brilliant when they were defending that they didn't have to go back 10. Made it really difficult for us.
Yeah.
But we went back. We made it difficult for them on the attack side of the ball, because we were only back 3 meters, but we were back.
Yeah.
And they executed right into our faces, right? And I remember
we taught that from a young age, aren't you? Take it to the line in league.
Yeah.
I mean, and everything's flat ball.
But until they were defending it, the Bath players, that is, until they were defending it, and then I clipped it up and showed them, this is what it's like. So I showed them a still picture of that's how close they were.
Yeah.
And we were there when we executed.
Yeah.
By the afternoon, I kid you not, we were there.
Yeah. Because a lot of them probably thought, well, it's not that much difference, but it is, isn't it? And it's just all about timing, and then little gaps appear.
So my point being, I went in to be the head coach, but I didn't want to copy anybody.
No.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to seem a clever bugger that I know everything. I just didn't. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't want to copy anyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I knew that.
Yeah.
And when it were all unfolding, I saw Sam as a massive advantage in anyone's team because of all his qualities, right? But where would he fit into rugby union was he fit into the lead runner.
Yeah.
So if he sat in between Kyle and George and Kyle, as a lead runner who could take it, all kind of stuff.
Well, he's a devastating runner, wasn't he? So it would make sense. This was already a debate before the contract, the move was even announced. Obviously, there was murmurs he was going to leave the Bunnies and he was going to go to rugby union.
Yeah.
No one knew where yet, but that question was already being asked. Where would he play?
Yeah.
And I know you're going to go into it in a moment, but obviously, one entity wanted him at 6 flanker. One entity wanted him. Yeah.
So how that unfolded was the Rugby Football Union contacted Sam, and they were going to buy his transfer fee. They were going to pay for his transfer fee, which was about £500,000.
Yeah.
And they rang up 4 clubs, who they would think Sam would excel in. And we were one of those clubs. So when the head coach I've just left England, and the head coach was Stuart Lancaster, he rings me up. He says, are you interested in Sam? So I said, yeah. He said, but we're paying for him, so we'll decide where he plays.
Right.
So I said, that could be a stumbling block, but yeah, let me speak to him. So I speak to Sam. I was the first coach to speak to Sam. I was in bed at the time. He was in Australia, and I spoke to him for about an hour and a half. And previously, Sam and Steve McNamara had come to our house, coach of Bradford, and Sam were 19 at the time.
Yeah.
Come to our house to sign George. George was a young kid, and the idea was, look what I've done. Steve McNamara saying, look what I've done with Sam. He's 19 and he's playing international or whatever.
Yeah.
So George and Sam went off into playing the PlayStation, and me and Steve. So we already knew him as a family. And he in that conversation, he just said, yeah, I'm coming to you. Right. So that means Leicester Tigers, and I think the other one was Saracens. They're now pissed off because Stuart Lancaster had said we're all going to talk to him.
Yeah.
But Sam had made his mind about him. I'm going to come over. I'm going to go to Bath.
Yeah.
So what they do then, the Rugby Football Union, they've got to be politically correct. They say, well, we're not paying for him.
Right.
We're not paying for him.
Because all clubs haven't had a fair crack at him in their eyes. That's what,
So we paid for him.
Yeah.
Right. I convinced the owner of Bath to pay for him, which meant we had full control of him. And me and Stuart Lancaster disagreed on his best position. The best position for Bath was one he played for Souths. in the middle of the park, smashing people, taking it to the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being the enforcer. The one where England had it, they wanted him in the backs because he was a leader, and they felt at the time that England had, the Owen Farrell and the Georgies were just young. They needed a leader presence there, but that's not Sam.
No.
If Sam needs to be doing 20 tackles a game, 20 carries a game, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of them inspirational. So we played him all the way through the season. We get to the grand final, and he outplays the current number 8 loose forward and the current number 6 who were playing for Saracens in the final. He outplayed them in the final. But when he went to England, they moved him at 12 in the centres.
Obviously, from his point of view, from what I've read, is he feels like he was used as a bit of a pawn or scapegoat. How or why would he be? Why would he be feeling that way? Why? Because obviously England's telling him one thing, Bath are telling him another thing.
Yeah, I don't think the England demise in that World Cup, the England failure in that World Cup, was anything to do with Bath.
No.
And where we played him. And consequently, it was nothing to do with Sam.
But
in a lot of respects.
It's us as a nation, though, in any sport, that you always want to look for why it's gone wrong. And that was one of the things what was listed.
Yeah.
It was a bonus for all of us because we got him back. He came back to the bunnies, didn't he?
The most striking point, a piece of evidence, is that the game, well, they lost to both Wales and Australia, but the Wales game, they took him off and they were winning. At the time, they took him off, they're winning. They took him off, they lose.
Yeah.
So
that tells you everything. We'll move on slightly. We'll go touch back on the British and Irish Lions, because you said to me how special that was. Talk us through the start. How did it come about? Who was in contact with you, and how? Obviously, it was over in Australia, wasn't it, that year when they went on that tour?
No, it was New Zealand.
Oh, was it New Zealand, that one?
Bit of a disaster tour, to be honest.
The first one that you went
on. We were talking about as a coach now.
As a coach, yeah.
2005, went to New Zealand. We lost the series 3-0. Clive Woodward got in touch. Obviously, I'm very close with Phil Larder.
Yeah.
They've already appointed Eddie O'Sullivan, who was my coach at Ireland. So I've got basically 2 allies there.
Yeah.
Clive wanted to take 2 coaching teams, so I was lucky in that respect. So they had a test coaching team and they had a midweek coaching team. And again, you look at leadership and frameworks and getting players to belong and playing for something bigger than themselves. That's what the Lions got wrong there, because he separated them. The connectivity wasn't there. This group here was doing it tough. They had the games they were playing was like 10 times harder than the midweek games.
Yeah.
Like, we were winning some games by quite a lot, having a bit of fun, celebrating. Do you know what I mean? And because the other thing was, because we played the midweek, we were traveling everywhere, so that we weren't staying in one place, getting stale, getting homesick. These guys stayed in one base. Pressures on them guys to win. I get it, but I think there was many a lesson learned on leadership in terms of not being one. And I think Clive, in his preparation before we left the shores, was everything he said was to be 4 nations to be one. He even got somebody to do a song, and we all did this canvas, which we all put a little bit in. We had to do our little piece on this canvas, which created, a one masterpiece of everybody being in it. So he had the right ideas, but it just didn't work. The separation didn't work.
No, it's tough when it's like that. It's how much you can say from your personal point of view as well. What you think you would do differently, because I don't know how that would work in union. I know the assistants are quite involved in league, so they will obviously put their opinions forward. Whereas obviously you mentioned before about the Ireland gig, that it's a bit more reined in, and there is a hierarchy, isn't there?
Yeah.
Leeds Carnegie 2011.
No, that was just really a consultancy.
Was it?
Our Joe, the eldest, was playing there. Dick and Edwards were the coach. Yeah, so I met him. He was one of the youth coaches with England Rugby Union. So I was just consulting with them. I didn't really coach them.
No. Is that something that what you mentioned at the start of the podcast that you would like to do again in the age that you are now? Would you like to do a consultancy based role? Yeah,
or we might talk about Oldham in a little bit, but something. I was the MD at Oldham, so director of rugby. I'm an executive position who does strategic thinking.
Yeah,
gets the culture right and the environment's right, gets good people in, the way we operate and stuff like that. Or to be a consultant to a young coach. I mean, but you've got our Joe, who's head coach at Sale, and now Jacob's the youngest is now transition coach at Sale.
Yeah.
You're speaking to them every day.
Yeah.
You want to see our dinner table at night, especially George is there, what it's like. But we're either writing a session out or watching a game or talking about challenges. I mean, Joe rang me up yesterday and said, look, third session into pre-season, they've had a shocker.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking of doing. What do you think? I said, yeah. I'd address it that way. Well done. Kind of stuff. That sort of validation. And then I usually find an example.
Yeah.
Either I did it that way and it worked, or I didn't do it that way and it didn't work. You know what I mean? I try and give him a real life example, which I always think is huge, that the person giving you the advice had been in there and done it. Have been.
Do you enjoy that part of your life? All three sons asking you questions to do with coaching, playing, whatever it may be, whatever entity it is.
Yeah, I think it's
like that part.
Yeah, I do. I think it's not just questions. I think it's debate and discussions.
Yeah.
The way they think the game's going. I said things to them. Have you seen this? I've just seen Wigan Warriors do this move. Dad. don't work in rugby unions. Okay. How Joe helped. He was coaching before Doncaster. Sale. He was coaching Doncaster coach, and he helped Willie Peters out with.
Oh, did he?
With kicking. Yeah. With Mikey Lewis. So he did a little bit there.
That's nice. I was going to say, because I'd imagine there's a lot of that, because obviously the emphasis on kickers in rugby union is a lot higher. So I bet there's more than you think league going to union for advice and training than you actually think.
Yeah.
Going along a little bit, there was one that I seen on your profile, Dallas Griffins 2017.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, again, just out of the blue, the MLR, Major League Rugby, was setting up. The owner of Dallas Griffins, I think they called the Dallas Raptors, they eventually were called, was one of the founders of the league. And the idea was to go over there and help set up the franchise, which was a brand new experience for me. I fell out a little bit I'd just gone to Bath and I just had a spell at Toulon.
Yeah.
I got to finals with both teams, got to finals, but didn't get across the line. And, you lose your job and
takes it out of you a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit when I come back from the Crushers.
Yeah.
So
did you find then this opportunity was kind of like a good reset for you, to experience something different, something new?
Less pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Less pressure. We had a great time out there. Went to Fort Knox.
Yeah.
People will know what that is. Yeah. One of the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, he became an owner.
Right.
So we collaborated with the Mavericks, which is Mark Cuban's team.
Yeah.
And it was like in our time, the Dallas Cowboys built a £1 billion training centre.
Yeah.
Which was, I could look out of the bedroom window and it was there.
Yeah.
And it was actually called the Ford Centre. So me and our Jacob had a day with them.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Good life experience then.
yeah, and we met the North Texans university football team.
Yeah.
Well, I say we met them. The head coach didn't go, but they wanted to know about tackling.
Yeah.
Because I think at the time, concussion, you were taught to lead with your helmet.
Yeah.
When you tackle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of a sudden that got took out.
Yeah.
A little bit like you were telling me before about getting your head in the right place and stuff like that. So they wanted to know how we did it. So it was fascinating, and I went, I went for less pressure and to experience a new environment.
Yeah.
So
the last part on that, would you say, what would be your opinion on? Do you think it will grow over in the States, union as a sport, rugby union as a sport, or would you?
Well, there's been 16 teams. It's gone down to, I think it went as low as 8.
Right.
So some franchises failed, and now I think it's back up again.
Yeah.
So
are they struggling with like pathways and getting because obviously it's the American sports that's going to dominate areas, and trying to get someone interested in a new sport. This is what it's always difficult.
So over there you play college football.
Yeah.
Then you either go to the NRL or you don't.
Yeah.
So when you're 21, when you finish college, you can't go and play for Saddleworth Rangers or St Anne's. There's nothing for you to go at. So the idea is then, where do all them players go? Well, let's get them to rugby league. And we had a combine day there. I don't know if you've heard of a combine day where all the scouts gather. American football scouts gather, and who's the fastest, who's the elite.
The leaps.
So
and
we copied that a little bit, and honestly, physically, the guys that turned up, I think we had 40. The guys that turned up, you leap and you hit a bar and stuff, and you sprint. And honestly, they were like, wow. You give them a ball.
So they've got everything physical, but not core skills.
Well, there's only one person passes the ball,
right?
In rugby, in football,
American
and he passes it forward.
yeah, true.
So getting a line of 4 to run forward to pass the ball backwards, it was like going back to under 6.
Unnatural.
Yeah, so unnatural thing. And some guys were defensive players. Yeah. They don't need to touch the ball.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So it was like, in some respects, it was like, what athletes, and then you would have had years and years developing them.
Yeah. No, I wanted to bring it up because I thought it'd be a nice little story, because I was interested in what the actual story was, because there's not much written about it online. That kind of wraps it up for the rugby union sense. I know we've probably bits that we missed out, but I'm concerned with how long we've been chatting. Yeah. We're going to move on to your Oldham managing directing period, 2023 consortium comes about. Tell us a little bit how the idea come about, who was involved, and why did you think that you wanted to go forward with this?
I think it came back personally to what did I want to do next in my career, and I wanted to help people. I wanted to help coaches and organisations. I thought if I could get a consultancy job with everything that I've learned. Yeah. And I was watching Oldham. The other thing is, personally, I didn't want to move away again.
No.
I've been here, there, and everywhere and stuff, and wanted to be settled. It was the right time for my wife to have her say a little bit, and she wanted to live back at home. So I was looking at Oldham Rugby, and what's happened since I left for 25 years, and where they were playing, and the crowds they were getting, and the standard of football they were playing. And I thought I could help. And the first thing I did is go and speak to the owners of Oldham Athletic, which were brand new owners, local businessman, lives in this area, called Frank Rothwell. His son played rugby. Really, really northern, down-to-earth guy. And I said, look, if we were lucky enough to acquire Oldham Rugby League, can we play back here? Yeah, and he said, yeah. Yeah. And once I got that in my head, I went about acquiring the club. So we bought it. We bought it off the previous owner called Chris Hamilton. who had the club for 25 years. And it was like I wanted to do something for the town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought I could give all my experience of what I've achieved of what I've learned, over the last 40 odd years and stuff.
Did you feel a different sense of pressure to coaching and playing once you're a managing director and a stakeholder, because there's a different expectation from you guys then, isn't there? Did you feel that?
No, I didn't, to be honest. I came back in. I remember coming back in, and we were playing at the time. We were playing out of town. Well, near out of town at a local amateur football ground.
Yeah.
400 best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we got one occasion on Good Friday. We were playing Rochdale and we got 700.
Which it's kind of your core heart. You know, it's in the blood. Fans
playing on a Astra turf that's 10 years old, which is worked great for rugby.
No.
And I come back and I didn't think it had changed one bit.
No.
It was the coaches were still doing the same, the players were still training the same, the environment was still the same. You know what I mean? And I learned so much from rugby union.
Yeah.
So much that I couldn't wait to get my teeth into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get through that season. We then go back to Boundary Park, which was one of the boxes ticked in my head. You know, of why we acquired to bring the club back.
Yeah.
Into the centre of Oldham, you know, where it belonged, to get the community involved in the way the club was going to go about its future, to make it. The strapline was, it's not my club, it's our club. We're going to do this. We're going to do it stronger together, kind of stuff. And then to try and give my story earlier about me ringing up Oldham Rugby when Wigan was sat in the lounge, was like I wanted to give every kid that opportunity to feel that way, to have the opportunity to, you know, to have try and play for the club, or, you know, if not, support the club, or, you know, in some way work for the club or volunteer for the club. I wanted, you know, the people in the town to be able to have that opportunity. So we created a pathway which the first day we had 270 kids turn up.
Wow.
It was the first time in 25 years they've had anything like that.
Yeah.
And by the end of the most proudest moment, one of the most proudest moments about, you know, not by the end, but, you know, 18 months down the line from that, we've got people wearing Oldham shirts again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's pride and they're proud to do it again.
In the town again. We know we work very hard with the community clubs and stuff. So,
because
and then recently we've opened the opportunity up to women, girls.
Yeah.
You know, as a women's team now, and
because you see the history of Oldham, you see some of the players that are from this area, and you think it should be better than where it's at, shouldn't it? It should be pushing like it was doing towards the end. It should be pushing to gain access to Super League,
NRL, and the money.
Yeah.
Right. And you talked about going to the grassroots and the coaching. And right. That money shouldn't, for me, that shouldn't go further than this area.
No.
The rugby league area.
No.
I'm talking about Cumbria.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Hull, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oldham, Rochdale, Swinton. The Widnes.
Yeah. It's the core of rugby league in this country.
Go make them 270 lads we had.
Yeah.
Go make them the best they can be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In your area that you've got them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of...
Because I said this, and obviously I'm originally from St Helens, and the amateur clubs that are there is like Blackbrook Royals, Tataweef, all the ones that are, you know, at the top of the amateur leagues. And they've produced some incredible players like James Roby's come through there, Kieran Cunningham.
Yeah.
And you think them sort of clubs, and that's just for St Helens. For Wigan, it'd be St Pat's, St Jude's. Each of these areas would the amateur clubs get some of the funding, so it doesn't go to the rugby league clubs as in Wigan and Saints. It's you skip that step and it goes into, so then they've got the proper equipment. The amount of times I used to turn up for training and you're using 15-year-old tackle bags, you're using bibs with holes in, balls with no grip on, And then you see the standard of what the young lads and girls are using in the NRL, and no wonder the core skills are better because they've got the equipment from a young age.
Yeah.
That should be a bare minimum and a necessity.
Yeah.
That it shouldn't be, right, we're going to have to go to Morrison's on Saturday morning and pack everyone's shopping to get, some funding so we can get some new tackle bags. That could be an extra, but the core details, the core funding should be in the amateur clubs. And I feel like the gap has gone so far now that they are struggling like massively. But yeah, going off topic a little bit there because because it's the same for Oldham as well, and the amateur clubs that'll be in this area that they should be receiving. Obviously, we don't know any of the details as and when it's signed with the NRL, but a percentage of that funding has to be going to the amateur clubs because that's how you'll start that cycle again of flushing players through. Yeah.
With quality coaching.
And coaches, of course, yes. When you came into Oldham with the consortium, who was the head coach at Oldham at that time?
Stuart Littler.
He's
now, I think, academy or youth at Lee.
Did he move on early on in your tenure then, or was he there for a little bit?
Yeah, he left just before the end of the season.
Yeah.
We hadn't offered him anything for the year after because we were still evaluating.
Yeah.
You hear rumours that he'd spoken to Winders and other things and stuff like that. So we had a chat and mutually we agreed to part company. The last 3 games of the season I took charge, and then the year after we get Sean Long.
So that conversation and that move with Sean happened fairly quickly then?
I had 2 chats with him. The first one, he went to left Featherstone, went to Wakefield with Mark Applegarth and helped him a bit.
Yeah.
The situation came up again. He was available. I liked the way he interviewed. I liked the way he saw the game. Obviously, he was a fantastic player, been there and done that, which was important for me. And he was very successful.
Yeah. Did he hit the ground running when he came in? Did the group respond to him well?
Yeah, I think we had a brand new group.
Yeah.
Looking back and reflecting, did we do enough? Did we do enough with that group to with the environment and the culture? Did we do enough with that group?
Yeah.
Did we tell them what Oldham was all about and the history of Oldham?
Yeah.
Get them to play for something that's bigger than themselves. That they belong for this period of time. They're playing for Oldham Rugby. They belong here.
Yeah.
Probably not, because we were winning so well. It's very difficult when you win because you do very little learning.
Yeah.
So the one thing I've learned, and I said to our Joe just yesterday, I just said, the biggest challenge for you guys is when it's all going well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the success they see is complacency and everything's all right, everything's going well. So
everyone knows how or what they've got to do to reach the top, but not many know how to maintain the top. That's how it goes.
So true. Because we were winning, like we ran away with that season, which we should have done.
Was Drinkwater with you then at that point? He came over from Warrington, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm going to say no, he wasn't. He came the year after. Yeah, he did. He came the year after. So we had our halfbacks were like Danny Craven.
Yeah, I played with Danny.
Can't remember the one. What's he called? Forget now. Sorry. Yeah, I remember before the end of the season.
Danny moved on to Midlands, I think. I think he went to the Hurricanes.
He's got injured, Danny.
Yeah.
He's got injured. Jamie Ellis. Sorry, Jamie. He was near the end of his career and stuff.
Yeah.
But we recruited. I remember having a board meeting and saying, we were spending so much money, and the board asked, does that guarantee us promotion? I said, I don't guarantee promotion, but what it does do, with the right coaching and the right environment, we'll be thereabouts, because there were Keithley there. And other good teams. Well, what guarantees promotion? Do you know what I mean? So, well, more players, bigger players. So, we decided to get 2 more players, which, as best you can. We still had doubts, during the season. We lost at Keighley away. That were our only loss in the end, but you still have doubts, but more or less guaranteed. I think the last 4 or 5 games, we didn't concede a point. That's how much we were running away with it.
Yeah.
A bit like London.
Yeah.
Not as dominant as London are this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're looking like some, not to go off topic, but they're looking like some force, aren't they, this year? Yeah. They seem Super League ready. And you don't often say that.
I'll say this, Dan, that league's nowhere near as strong as it was last year.
No.
With Bradford gone, Toulouse gone, and York gone. They're nowhere near as strong. And, you see where Newcastle are now.
Yeah.
It's York's, it's part of York's franchise.
Yeah.
And what they've done, and maybe, is that the model for going forward? I'm not sure, but the 20 teams in the championship has made the scorelines more predictable.
Yeah. No, I can't disagree with that. How close were Oldham to gaining entry into the Super League in probably the year before you left? So obviously you left early this year, the end of last season. How close do you think you were?
Halfway through the 25 season, we're always in the top 4, probably 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
We played Bradford away. We lose 4 tries to 2. We have a board meeting. We double down because I still felt that we could win it.
Yeah.
All right. And I wanted to prove a point to the IMG people of the world and the Rugby Football League and all the bureaucrats that, if you win the competition, you should get promoted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think the fortunate IMG that the people that's gone up and the people that's gone down has always been the right choices in the right positions.
Yeah.
But as soon as they get somebody who wins it, who haven't got the IMG points or some, I think that's where the trouble will start for them. But anyway, so we doubled down on it. We signed out Ryan Briley, Dean, what's it called? Jack Olmanroyd.
Yeah.
Ethan Ryan. We go and buy them players and stuff, and thinking that we can still win it. But also there were rumours about this Super League thing, and I'm thinking, right, we are getting a Super League squad ready now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so it was perfect for us that this bid came in for Super League, because we could prove that our crowds had gone to 2,000.
Yeah.
We're playing at Boundary Park. We run away with Division 1. We were in top 4 in the Championship. We recruited even more good players. And the call from Tony Sutton was, look, you've not got it. But you can either believe it or not, but you were a midges away from getting it. And, I think to myself, right, it's a good job we didn't. Do you know what I mean? I think if you would have got it, you would have, of course, you would have done what you would have done. But we weren't really ready for the infrastructure. We had gone too fast.
Yeah. I think I agree with you in that sense. I just think no matter who from the Championship is putting themselves in that bidding position, I don't think anyone, because of the funding and everything, no one's going to be ready. But I think, like you've seen with York and Toulouse, because Toulouse's crowds are still down now unless they're playing Catalan at home, they will then find a way. Once you gain entry into you'll put different things in place and you'll make it work. I think Oldham, if you'd have just got that, or whether it's half a point, whatever it may have been, I'm sure you would have found a way. You would have found routes to obviously make it work. And to see Oldham again back in the Super League, I think it should happen. Oldham and Widnes, for me, I feel like they're the two, like the granddads, like with Huddersfield. They should be in there, and it'd have been good to see. So obviously you mentioned about Sean Long as well being the coach. Do you see it as a success under Sean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, did he do well?
I think, I touched on that game, his last game in charge, which was the playoff game against Halifax.
Yeah.
and really, really disappointing. And we had another disappointing game during the season, which was a semi-final of the 1895 at home against Featherstone.
Yeah.
Winners go to Wembley. You know, we've never been to Wembley, and we get another good hiding. So there was things missing, and I wanted to not so much. I don't think so much on the field, because Sean was very detailed.
Yeah,
liked to plan, which is nothing wrong with that. I think I could have helped in terms of the environment and culture. I think I mentioned it earlier, where culture takes time.
Yeah. What was the environment like in that 2025 season? Was it good environment?
Good, good, but not great.
Right, could have been better.
Yeah,
room for improvement.
Could have been better. And then I'm not. Look, I'm not calling Sean here at all. He did his job. He was a fantastic coach. We went to him with a plan, which was basically I was going from MD to director of rugby at the time.
Yeah.
So basically, I was going to spend more time with the team in training, and my thought process was to improve the environment, training facilities.
Yeah.
The excellence of performance, get the culture right. I thought if we could do that, let Sean deal with the team, but if we could get that right, then we'll improve massively.
Yeah, it was a shame, and I know obviously Sean ended up moving on. You ended obviously stepping down. The club didn't make it into the Super League, but are they in a position now that they could go around again and try and get back in, or is it a different circumstance where they're at now?
No, I don't think it's a different circumstance. I think I left, like I mentioned earlier, 1st of February, and the reason I left is because the other board members was taking the club in a different direction. They were taking it. I worked so hard with my relationships to get us back at Boundary Park, which we had a 10-year lease, and we were negotiating an even longer one, for us then to voluntarily, on our own decision, take it back out again to somewhere which not even in Oldham.
No.
Was just crazy for me.
Yeah.
Crazy. And everything I've talked about, the belonging, giving people the opportunity to be involved with Oldham rugby, women's pathways, education, all these things, was wrong, So, but the new consortium that's took over, they've talked about, I think it's a good one with Terry Flanagan as helm. He's a very smart man, very smart businessman. Stuff, and the things I'm hearing is all good. They're going to make it. This is the problem now. They're going to make it as sustainable as possible.
Right.
Off the field. Now, in my head, that's good business. Do you know what I mean? But I think you just ask the question: can Oldham get to Super League again? You can't do that being sustainable off the field.
No.
What you need to do, regardless of the business plan and the business theory and universities and everything that you've learned from a business point of view, which is right, you still need to win.
Yeah.
Right. And in that you need a fantastic environment and a fantastic culture.
Yeah.
Right. And in that, right, you need money. Behind that, I'm talking to 1 or 2 owners in the Championship at the moment, and I'm asking them what's their ambition, where are they going, what's the next step?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's the next? And they can't answer me.
No.
They can't answer me.
It's like you said, it's how much money that them owners are going to want to throw at it. Plus, it depends on revenue streams, what's going to happen with the big deal that we've already mentioned.
If you name the 3 best teams in Super League, I'll name at the moment, it's Wigan, Hull KR and Leeds.
Yeah.
They've got the biggest owners. They've got the most money behind them.
Wakefield as well.
Matt Ellis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Lee have got Derek, and Saints are Saints, so they'll be there. But it's just like, It's just like Premiership football, isn't it?
Yeah.
The people, and no matter what I'm trying to impress on everyone is, great, you need a sound governance and a sound structure from the off the field point of view.
Yeah.
But you need this money here.
Yeah.
You need this money here.
The last part on the Oldham section then, opportunity missed, would you say?
From me?
From Oldham as a rugby league club?
No, I don't. I think I've just mentioned it earlier. I think it's in good hands.
Yeah.
I think they've got the right intentions.
It's more like a message to the fans, because obviously they would have had that fuzzy feeling like, oh my God, for years and years we've not been in Super League, we're so close, and then to be told not got it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from their point of view as it's the same old kind of thing.
Yeah.
How long is it going to be until we try and go again?
I think I don't think it's a I don't think it's a missed opportunity. I think it's the intentions of the board and everything that's coming out of it. Is, we're in a financial mess. We've got to get that sorted out first. We've got to get sustainability and stuff like that. Yeah. But once they in their head get that right, what's their ambition? I think they've got to tell the town that. I think the biggest one for me is the pathways. They've got to carry. You've got to carry on with your pathways. Yeah, you've got to get. We had a guy who left at the same time as me called Callum Irving, who was doing a fantastic job with the pathways and the model that he was using. A little bit different. He's from FIFA football, so he's got good grounding in academies and stuff. So, but that's the future. You've got to invest in that.
Yeah, of course you have. I agree. Well, in closing then, with a couple of quick fire questions, can rugby league and rugby union learn more from each other?
Yes, 100%.
Because you see it from core skills point of view.
Yeah.
Kicking especially from union to league. I would say, would you say ball handling from one or the other, or would you say it's pretty similar in a core skills point of view?
It's got better at the attack's got better in rugby union. It's close to rugby league now for terms of skill execution. The defence is nowhere near.
No.
I still see rugby union players can dive in with their heads and no arm tackles and losing the feet too early. So I don't think what they could learn from each other. And Eddie O'Sullivan said to me, look, when you go back to rugby league, he said, get me in as one of your assistants, because I'll have a different point of view. Yeah. Like, I'll throw things out there that you won't even think about your coach seeing. I thought, what a great idea that is. Yeah, it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's always things to learn off each other. Yeah, 100%.
What is the biggest achievement for you personally that stands out above the rest over your long, successful career in union and league? So one for each.
It's going to be. I think it's the way
from personal point of view, from you.
Yeah, no, I think the three proudest things are my boys. Yeah, and within that is my wife Sally Ann. She's been like the backbone of the family, the rock. Yeah, because like I said, mention dinner or a barbecue, it's all rugby. And she's been there for us every step of the way. She still is now. And I think the way the lads have turned out, you worry about them a little bit because the coaching, which can be volatile and stuff, and has its massive up and downs. But they're grounded, and they've got other things like, they've got coffee shops and a couple of restaurants and stuff, things like that to keep them distracted from potentially putting all their eggs in one basket. But, it's that really.
Last one. If you could pick any role at any club right now, any role, any job role,
oh jeez,
at any club, who would you choose, and what role would you apply for?
Can I say St Helens now?
Yeah. You can show bias, Well, they're in need of a head coach.
Director of rugby at St Helens. I don't know. It's probably in any code.
Any code, yeah. You got to pick league though.
Oh, I've got a
No,
pit league.
you can choose whichever you want.
Well, the one of the reasons we never touched on this. One of the reasons I never came back to league until I did was the job opportunities in rugby union.
Yeah,
like they were quadrupled.
Yeah,
jobs on offer than there were in. I mean, there's 12 Super League jobs.
Before you go on with that, do you think that'll ever come over to league where you'll have attack coach, defence coach, skills coach?
I think so, yeah.
Because
I think so.
it's going to improve. It's got to improve if you've got individual people doing it.
Yeah, got to.
Go on, continue.
It's just, again,
yeah.
The reason they don't do it is money.
Yeah.
And I look at the people, the personnel that was around when I left Oldham in 2001, the coaches, and they're not in the game anymore.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Because they've run out of opportunities where, as you just mentioned, there's a prevalence of offers. So I'd probably, I'd like to work for World Rugby.
Yeah.
I like to put my little 2 penneth into that, globally, like where you get to go and have the best seat at all the Rugby World Cup games. And
it's your opportunity, Mike. Tell them, tell us what you want.
So there's any jobs going there.
No, I love it.
No, but I think something like, be a coaching director of rugby, executive coaching consultant that go into organisations that are not at the top level.
Yeah.
And critique them.
And improve.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, Mike Ford. My first one-on-one interview. I hope you've enjoyed it. I can talk a lot. Vice versa. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
It's been an eye-opener, an insight. I've learned some things about union that I didn't even know. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. And I wish you luck in whichever is your next role. And yes, I hope you all enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Thank you.